Hey YouTube, Osmane Slicer here. This time for my deck video, I'm going to do my Fabled deck. It's a pure Fabled deck, so there's a lot of monsters in there that people have considered complete and utter trash. Honestly, you guys don't know what you're talking about, I'll tell you that much already. As well, I have to give out a shout out for a guy that helped me get one of the important cards for this deck, and was really cool about it because I accidentally gave him the wrong address, and it got back to him and he still sent it out for me. And I'm not entirely sure how to say his name, but it's something like Ouyang18 Hotmail. It's spelled Ouayang 18 Hotmail. Either way, he was a really cool guy about the whole trade, so I really needed to give him some credit for helping me out here. Okay, starting off, we've got my extra deck, which we've got the big guy, which is Fabled Leviathan, which I run 3 of. Very, very helpful in starting up for big plays as well. Great way to sink into a bigger monster to give you more protection, as well if your opponent decides to just be stupid and destroy it, they're going to set you up for a massive play the next turn. Next up is Fabled Valkyrus, which I'm still looking for one more, but no one in my area has come in with any of them, as well as I kind of got to give one of my other friends a fair shot at getting another one, because he's only gotten one Fabled Valkyrus. It would be only fair in my opinion. Next up is Fabled Roggen, which I go for him an insane amount of times. Okay, now into the main deck. We've got Fabled Sulcius, which you guys know him pretty well, thanks to the uses of him with especially Trishula, if I recall correctly. Next up is their big searcher, which a lot of the guys are in love with, Fabled Grimro, which I'm only running 2 of, which I've been called an idiot for, but honestly, 2 does the job for me. Then we've got 2 Fabled Ashenvale, and I'll tell you, people hate this son of a bitch. Then one of my personal favorites, Fabled Galibus. He helps an insane amount with his ability, and especially with some of the cards I use with him, it makes him even more powerful. Then we've got one that I call Grandma, which people call complete and utter shit, which is Fabled Arustos. I love this card's effect. It makes a massive difference. Okay, this guy, he's currently in here until I could get a hold of another Fabled Raven, but right now I'm not too concerned about it, which is Fabled Dife. Right now, he gives me some other options to get to Roggen, so as well as I can use him in combination with Sulcius and Ashenvale and a few other cards. Then the card that Ouyang18 Hotmail helped me out with getting, which was the Fabled Raven, which I currently only have 1 of. Really, Raven's been overhyped. He's not as massively powerful as people make him out to be, as well as I should make the statement of people get a grip on the whole Fabled Dark World thing. I've tried out a deck list I found, which was a typical deck list I found online, and I tried testing it. It limped like none other. It was not a pretty sight. Okay, moving on. I've got 2 Fabled Kushano, pretty much a staple in all Fabled decks. Then the little sister of Grimro, Fabled Cruise. I've been called an idiot for not running 3, but 2 does the job for me. Then my favorite tuner of the deck, Fabled Mies Doji, which I call Grandpa all the time. He is massively powerful due to the fact of being able to turn my other Fabled into tuners, which makes a larger difference than people give him credit for. Then we've got The little guys, Fabled Lurries, they're just really fun, as well as the level 1 thing helps, especially in combination with Fabled Muse Doji. Then for spells, we've got Card Destruction, which allows for some massive plays. This card's kind of a little unusual, though my friend Shadow Reaper of Hell is also using this based off of my advice for him, which is Fires of Doomsday. You don't actually get to use them for tributes or anything, but they help out with the synchros a fair amount. So, trust me, it really does make a difference. Then there's Foolish Burial, which is generally a staple for this type of deck. Giant Trunade, Lightning Vortex, and then the card that I think should have actually gotten hit instead of another card, which is Mind Control. I think Mind Control should have gotten hit over Brain Control, because every time I've used this card, I got gamed that turn because of it. Whereas Brain Control, the majority of the time, wouldn't have gotten me game, honestly. The big thing about Mind Control for this deck is me stealing a face down, whereas Brain Control couldn't do. Then we got Monster Reborn. Monster Incarnation, which I might as well enlighten you guys on a little nice combo to do with this, which corresponds with actually one of the cards that they suggest to do it with, but not in the right method as far as I'm concerned, which is with Fabled Cruise. You use Monster Incarnation to discard Cruise, then you return Cruise back to your hand. You special summon something. It doesn't really matter what, and then you discard Cruise again to special summon something else. The discard method is your choice. If they've decided to rule against that combo, please tell me, because it works on the game, and I haven't been able to find any evidence against it. So, the important thing for Cruise, as far as I've seen, is that she touches the graveyard. So, then we got Mystical Space Typhoon. Then this card helps out a shit ton, as well makes Fabled Galabus even more broken. The Solidarities, which I run 2 of. Then we've got Swords, which is just one of my favorite little cards. And then this is my own little personal tech for discarding for this deck, which is Tribute to the Doomed, which really is rather nice, especially compared to Dark World Lightning, due to the fact that it's basically the same effect in terms of discarding and stuff, but you can destroy at least monsters regardless of their position. It can be face up, can be face down, not a problem. Yeah, I'll give you Dark World Lightning can hit back row stuff, but I'd rather hit the front row stuff at this point. Then for traps, I'm running 1 Beckoning Light. Then I've got 1 Bottomless. It's mostly just taking up a spot. And as well, this is a first, well, no, it's not the one I thought it was, okay. Then we got Call of the Haunted. This is another one of my tech choices that actually I came up with after a lot of testing. So don't diss this card, which is Defense Draw. The biggest problem with this deck is having a lack of a hand, and this makes up for that little weakness. Because unlike Infernities, which is another deck that relies on really not having much of a hand to a degree, this one you really need to have some cards in your hand to actually get there. Problem is with this deck you can overextend super easy, so it really helps. Then we've got Ray of Hope, which I really like for this deck. It originally was a Transmigration Prophecy, but I don't have another one. And I needed it for another deck that was more important for, so I put Ray of Hope back in. Then we've got a Threatening Roar. Well, that's my deck for the Fabled. Please rate, comment, just make sure it's actually constructive. Don't be an asshole about it, I should say. Either way, Osm89 Slicer signing out.